In spite of the best effort by medical personnel at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital to keep her alive, 17-month-old Allyssa Nunez lost the fight to survive a most macabre deal. The toddler is perhaps the youngest victim of a sexual offense in local records, an unfathomable act of cruelty reportedly committed by her stepfather.
All these different scenarios or evidence they have found on the baby detecting that she had a gash to the head, probably more than likely. It's still unconfirmed to what happened, to why she had bleeding in the head. Okay. But what they can confirm on such note, she was abused. She was sexually abused also. Everybody know that.
Alyssa's biological parents are separated, and her mother subsequently got involved with 21-year-old Everal Martinez. Little did Denika Flowers know that her daughter would suffer such a heartless end. Terrence Nunez, the father by birth, recounts opening an electronic message informing him of what had taken place.
It stated that your baby is at the hospital. You gotta go and check that out. So I went and I called the mother on WhatsApp, and the same young man answered, and I asked questions, and then I came to the hospital, and then I spoke to them and everything, and then as time progresses, we spoke to the doctor came because they were only allowing either the mom or the dad. But then it came to a point whereby it was very severe that the baby had many seizures before she came over to the KHMH.
Those bouts of convulsions were presumably the result of the baby having endured a massive blow to the head. Just before dawn on Sunday, doctors pronounced her dead. That statement, regrettably, came after word of her demise had initially been passed on to the family several hours earlier.
I don't have any evidence or don't believe that the hospital had anything to do directly with the death of the child. I believe that in this case the hospital did what they had to do. However, I do have several problems with the way they handled this situation, and it would make any person that thinks, including the family, question their actions. Up to this second that we're talking, there has been no medical practitioner, no specialist that has come out to speak to the family and inform them of what the baby's medical conditions were, from the time that they brought the baby, what conditions the baby came to the hospital with, and what transpired between the time that the baby arrived at the hospital to the time that the baby passed away. A lot of things that happen and coincidences it's just questionable. For example, they always keep telling them that the baby has passed, then that the baby hasn't passed, then again the baby has passed. So for someone going through an emotional distress of this sort, it's something horrible.
The falls report in the first instance created a bit of chaos among the grieving families on Saturday night, prompting hospital authorities to call the police department.
One incident that angered me is that it was their fault. They told the family members and the parents that the child was dead. When the parents started grieving and crying loud in the NICU, they went and cleared. I was there myself. I was inside the NICU and witnessed everything. I can tell you there are cameras there. They did not act in any unruly manner or any way that would cause any concern to the hospital staff. So they asked them to leave, and when they were coming out, of course the family was hurting. All the family was outside here, and they started crying, and of course they were upset. Out here they started to make noise. So the security didn't even come and ask them to leave. They called the police, and the police came, three police vehicles. Now I must call a spade a spade. We were lucky to have police men and women that came with understanding, and they did not come to assault anybody. They did not come here on the intentions of hurting anyone.
The emotional trauma of what has transpired weighs heavily on the grieving first-time father.
So painful to hear my baby in that state. I mean, she never really deserved that. I try my best to raise my baby to the fullest, to make someone who not even dead in my position right now, or not even put towards to raise my kid for do something so brutal and so severe. It's my first baby, and she always see her life only at 1 year, 5 months. It's so devastating. She didn't start her life as yet, so it's very hurt.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.